Hey, what is going on, everybody? And hope at least those in North America enjoyed their long weekend. Today we are going to be doing a baby account update, which marks pretty close to about the 4 months of this account as well. It has been a couple of weeks, but we are on the back of the Death Pool event, and with the Shang-Chi event started now, I want to go over some of the things that I am doing in my account. As I near level 70, I'm starting to do quite a bit of prep for the upcoming campaign chapters, Hero 7, Villain 7, and Nexus 8, and also looking further ahead to things like Dark Dimension 3 and you know, what kind of characters that I want to build for this. Now, ISO 8 energy gives a lot of XP. Things are moving a lot faster than they were before, and I think I'll probably be hitting 70 probably within a week, maybe a little bit less than that, and 75 for Dark Dimension 3 within a month. Probably. So these are kind of the things that I'm starting to think about now. So if you're in this level range and curious about what you should be doing or what I'm doing, then strap in tight and let's get this party started. Alright, so here we are in the campaigns window. We're going to be taking a look at this in order from Heroes, Villains, and Nexus. We're not going to be talking about too much about Do More, but I do have a Do More Ultimate Guide, which I'll leave a link to in the description below if you guys are curious. I typically do update this when there are new characters that are added that have traits that you can use in this, and so I would recommend checking that out instead. But let's get started on Heroes Chapter 7. So luckily, even though it's locked, I can still take a look. So one of the most important things here when you first hit level 70, which it requires to get in here, is that you need hero city characters. Keep in mind that for just like before, you know, you need hero characters for heroes, villains for villains, and so on and so forth until Nexus. So my plan is actually not to complete this entire chapter, it's just to complete Heroes Chapter 7-1. And the reason for that is, while there is other orange gear in here, there isn't really anyone important to farm in here anymore. So if you can clear it, that's great, but, you know, otherwise I would just recommend clearing 7-1, which, you know, the Colossus 7-9, just not really necessary at this point in the game anymore. So once you clear Chapter 7-1, Hero 7-1, that will give you access to Villain 7-1. Now, what characters am I planning on using to do this anyways? If you see, the enemies have around 40 to 50k power, which is, you know, no joke. You're going to have to level them up to probably about gear tier 11, 12 anyways. Who am I planning on using? I'm planning on using Heroes for Hire. Now, they are some of the more latest characters, I guess you could say, in this regard, because I don't have Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked, and I don't even have Anti-Venom unlocked, so I'm really screwed with my choices. But now that we have the Shang-Chi event, and actually it's quite player-friendly, and a lot of players are going to get 3 to 4 star of him free to play, I actually do have Colleen Wing and Misty Knight, so if you don't have Colleen Wing and Misty Knight unlocked because they were previous Blitz characters, might be a bit tough for you if you're in this level range like I am. But I was in the Baby Blitz, actually, when Colleen and Misty came out, so that gave me an opportunity to get them. So maybe not everyone's going to have this ability, but I am going to go for all 5 of the characters because I do have the entire team unlocked. So that's my plan. We're going to talk about that a little bit more because this is something I want to discuss about Dark Dimension later. So after you beat Villains 7-1, you do get Villains Chapter 7 unlocked. And now 7-1 requires AIM, Hydra, or Sinister 6. So right off the bat, Baron Zemo has to be there. Now, beyond that, I do have Electro geared up a little bit. I'm going to try. And I'm actually going to try Baron Zemo Sinister 6. I don't really, at this point, want to gear up my AIM because they don't really have any other use other than these sets of nodes, and this is a bit of a problem. So I'm trying to make do with what I have, which would be Zemo Sinister 6. So Zemo really just trashes a lot of these, because I'm pretty sure there's a good chunk of minions that actually exist on these nodes anyways. But like I said, you only actually need to get through Villain 7-1. Now, there are some other characters that are worth farming later. 7-6 Hela, I actually don't think this is a priority anymore. I think that by the time that you even think of using her late term, and I don't think the Black Bolt or Ebony Maw is a priority for newer accounts anymore, so I don't think this is a real big deal. 7-9 though does have Iceman. I think later on you're going to want to do this, but I would recommend coming back to this later and focusing on getting through that Villain 7-1 just to get to Nexus 8, which we're going to talk about. So for this, I'm going to be using Zemo, Electro Swarm, and Rhino, and something else like that. Just that way I'm fulfilling both the Sinister 6 requirements for Shuri and Invisible Woman, but I'm also using Baron Zemo because I already have him geared up. So I'm hoping that if I gear Zemo up enough, I only need to 1-star this. Once you 1-star these nodes, you unlock the next chapter, so that's fine. So as long as I can do that, if Zemo is sufficient to do that, then great. You know, we'll come back at another update to see how well that went and what I kind of needed to min-max max that, because I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done it, and we'll see about that. So that unlocks Nexus Chapter 8, and this is really important. So we need to get through the entire chapter of Nexus 8, because that's what unlocks Do More, and that's really important going forward. So Nexus 8.1 to 8.3 has no requirements. Great, I can use whatever I want. I'll probably use Kess Watch or whatever I just wreck them with. 8.4 to 8.6, this one's a little bit more interesting. Kree, Guardian, and Asgardian. So right off the bat, Philovel is Kree, Minerva if you get her a little bit up, and Gamora, of course. These are the top 3. Now, I'm not too... It doesn't bother me if I 3-star this. So if I can just 1-star this, I'm perfectly okay with that. And I don't want to gear up other characters in order to get through this at a 3-star when I don't really care too much about what's going on in these nodes. So 8.6 Karnak, that's just not important anymore. It used to be for Ebony Maw, but now that you can get Yo-Yo in the raid store, it just really doesn't matter. So if I can 1-star these nodes and get through it, that's fine. Later on, you know, I'll come back to this because there are some decent things to farm, especially this one I do on my main account occasionally because I like farming orange health and these skill pieces because I need a lot of those on my main account, but otherwise, not super important. We need to get through 8, 9 in order to get to Do More, and this is the most important. So you're going to have to put a fair chunk of resources into this, and we're going to talk about this as we move ahead into my roster section, where we're going to talk specifically about this text. Shield, Brotherhood, or X-Men. Exclude Brotherhood, not worth doing. But Shield and X-Men, though, there are a couple of characters that you can use in here that I think are going to be worth doing. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to jump to the roster section of this video, where we're going to look at everything that I'm gearing right now. I have a bunch of hearts that are favorited, and we're going to talk about what I'm gearing. Alright, so we're going to have a lot of hearts to go over, a lot of favorited characters to go over. Some of them I'm currently gearing, some of them I'm just, you know, there's a lot here. I want to talk about first, because we were talking about Nexus 8.7 to 8.9, which is Shield and X-Men specifically. I want to take a look at these. Now, first off, Shield. There are a couple of characters that you may or may not have been gearing. Depends on what your roster looks like. There's 2 in particular that stand out here. Maria Hill, because she's a new character, and she's part of that Secret Avengers team. And Yo-Yo, who you may or may not have geared. I did this early on in my account because she was recently made, at least recently as of when I started this account, made farmable in the raid store. And she helped me very, very early on in my arena team. But if you don't have her leveled up, that's fine. And actually, her passive is kind of tough, because depending on who you're using from the X-Men team or Astonishing X-Men, this is what I want to talk about, it might be difficult to activate that passive because you can't run Yo-Yo alongside any other protectors. But hopefully you have Maria Hill. If you don't have Maria Hill, that'll be a different story and you won't be able to use her. You could consider Black Widow, who is also another decent character. Beyond that, I really wouldn't choose anyone else from the Shield traits, though. So Maria Hill, Yo-Yo, Black Widow, one of these 3 are probably going to work. Maria Hill would be the best one because you're going to want to gear them up anyways as part of Secret Avengers. Let's talk about the X-Men, though. And really, it comes down to Astonishing X-Men, because a lot of these are farmable now. Iceman, I did get him as part of June's Pride Blitz, and I think there were some other opportunities for me to pick up Iceman Shards as well. So I did manage to get that. So he is on that list. Beast is on the list. He is farmable out of Nexus Chapter 5, I'm pretty sure, somewhere in there. X-23, because you're going to need to gear her up a little bit as part of X-Force for Doc Ock, and she's not a protector. So Kitty Pryde is on this list, but the problem is if I want to run Yo-Yo at all, I can't run Kitty Pryde, and because it deactivates her passive. So what I'm thinking of is Maria Hill, Yo-Yo, Beast, Bishop, Iceman. You know, actually, I might not even use X-23. I forgot that I had Maria Hill. I recently unlocked her out of some orbs, actually, because I didn't quite get the 100 shard unlock. I got it lucky on a basic orb or a premium orb, and I got her unlocked. So I think I'm actually not even going to do X-23. So let's just take her off the list for now. I'll need to do it eventually, though, as part of X-Force for Doc Ock, but right now it's not a huge priority. So I would say Iceman, Beast and Bishop are really important going forward with the Astonishing X-Men anyways, so these are probably top priorities for gearing. I'm just getting through the gear staging now. I've done the gold. I have plenty of gold. If you saw on the front of my screen, I had like 37 million or something, so I've been doing pretty well with gold accumulation, but yeah, the gearing is slow. And the other thing that's really slow, T2 ability mats. This is a bit of an issue, I think. This means that you can't really build too wide, and you really need to be careful about who you're spending T2 ability materials in. Some of the most important characters. So the reason why their power level isn't so high right now is because I'm just gonna put in as much as I need to just to get through it, and then later as I get more access to T2s perhaps that I'll be able to put more abilities in. So I really need to be careful about what are the most important T2 abilities, and for some parts of it you only need to do like, you know, 3 and 4, and that gets you to the purple stage, which I'm more than fine with. I have plenty of purples, but I just don't have enough blues. Let me know in the comments down below, how are you guys doing with T2 ability materials? Because yeah, it's just not good enough still, and I don't understand why, especially in Ultimate 7, they don't reward you with blues. They remove the blues as part of the rewards, and that really pisses me off, you know, and I don't know why that is the case. So in cases like that, what I would recommend, if you really have to, you know, and we're going to go into the orb store here, there is the T2 ability orb. Now, it's not great, you know, it's 175 cores, which is not a great use of your cores. However, if you're really desperate and you need to use it on someone that's really important, I would just do it, you know, not by too many, but realistically, you only get 45 T2s. It's not a lot, you know, upwards to 100, but, you know, the average is around 50 or so, and so that's only enough for like 1 or 2 skills, which really isn't great. But if you're really desperate, if it's a skill that you really need, if it's like an ultimate that you really need to get you into that purple section so that you can kind of upgrade further past that, then I would recommend doing that. This and I guess you get, no, that's really like the only place you get them. It's just not great. Such a big crunch on T2 ability mats, and I hate it. I hate it. So what we're going to talk about next, though, in my roster, we're going to take a look at all of the characters that I have star-hearted. Quite a few characters. So Deathpool and Maria Hill, Calling Wing, Misty Knight, you know, all of these are pretty recently new characters. Heroes for Hire is on here. Ghost is on here for Dark Dimension. And then we have some X Factor, because I'm going to have to do that eventually anyways for Adam Warlock. Even if I'm not getting him this time, I might get him the next time. So I'm going to pre-build them now ahead of time, and I've been getting them for Shards as well. This isn't going to be a Shard guide or anything like that. I'm not going to talk about that. These are just some of the, you know, Taskmaster can come off the list, I think. I'm not really doing much with him at the moment. But other than this, you know, look at this. Anti-Venom, 91 out of 100. I talked to that. I don't even have Anti-Venom unlocked. And Symbiote Spider-Man, 70 out of 100. I haven't even budged on my shards since the Milestone Orb 2 came out. I may have picked up 5 shards for him, and that's about it. I'm at 50 out of 100 for Emma Frost. Symbiote Spider-Man, I haven't seen basically no drops for him, and so that means that when it comes to Dark Dimension 3, I'm gonna have to change tact, I think, on what my plans are for Dark Dimension 3 City and possibly 4 City, because I won't have him available, which means that the symbiotes are useless without him. So moving on, Dark Dimension 2, I'm gonna use my arena team, which by the way is still Kess Watch. They're still the best team, and everyone in the top 50 of my arena shard is still using them. So Gamora, Moondragon, Kestrel, Phyla-Vell, and Nebula. I think this is going to be my Dark Dimension 2 team. I don't see why I can't slice through them with this, and we have the support from Moondragon. I don't even think I need Ghost, actually. So the reason why I am gearing Ghost is actually mainly because of the Jubilee event, because she can solo the Jubilee event if you gear her up well enough, and that means you don't have to gear up the rest of them. And that's why they put that mythic cap on Adam Warlock, meaning that you had to gear everyone else, because they were tired of people soloing these events with certain characters. So for Dark Dimension 2, we're going to be using Kess Watch. I think that's what I'm planning. If you're someone who doesn't have one of these characters, like Moondragon or something like that, I would recommend sliding Ghost in there, and that should be fine as well. But let's talk about Dark Dimension 3, because I think that's what a lot of people are curious about. Now, I'm not sure what my first 5 are going to be. I'm not sure if this matters too much, but let's talk about Global, Cosmic, and City, and talk about what my plans are for that. So, we'll start with Global, and I think this is pretty obvious, but we're going to talk about Secret Avengers. Now, here, this is where Ghost will have more value, because, you know, Dark Dimension 2 can be used by anyone. So, Dark Dimension 3 Global, we got Maria Hill, we got Sharon Carter, Cap Sam, and then we got Ghost. I think those are the 4 that I'm going to use specifically for Global. I don't know if I necessarily need a 5th, but if I do and I have enough skill gear, you know, there's going to be a lot of skill usage here, and that's the problem, because even going into Cosmic, you know, there's still skills, so there's a lot of skill stuff. I don't really have any other options other than that, so I'm just going to do the best I can here, but at the very least focus on these 3 first, or maybe Ghost with Cap Sam and Sharon, I don't know, Maria Hill, one of them. We're going to do something related to Secret Avengers, and that's going to be my Dark Dimension 3 Global. Going into Cosmic, that's probably a no-brainer based on what I talked about with I don't know, why can't I find Cosmic? With Dark Dimension 2 here is going to be Kess Watch. Now, the order of which I do this, I'm not sure. Like I said, Gamora and Moondragon both skill. Kestrel's also partially skill. This is a lot of skill gear, so I'm not sure if it's going to work out the way I'm hoping it will. Otherwise, Deathpool could be an option. Phyla-Vell obviously is bio, and Nebula is tech. So there's a bit of an arrangement here that I could use some alterations instead of, as much as I want to do Kestrel, and I think she should be part of that. If there's too much skill, I'm gonna need to maybe cut somebody and maybe include Deathpool instead. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not gonna really bother with any of these other cosmic characters at this point because I think that they're just kind of being power crept a little bit more, and I don't think that they're worth doing. Now, City, this is where it's really important, I think, going forward, because Dark Dimension 3 City is going to be really rough. Like I said, I don't have Symbiote Spider-Man unlocked, I don't have Anti-Venom unlocked, so it really makes no sense to do the rest of the symbiotes. Who do I have unlocked? I don't even know if I do. Carnage, no, I don't think I do. Carnage is 35 out of 100. Never bought any shards for him. Now, Cloak and Dagger. Now, this is going to be the kind of the important factor here. And maybe Multiple Man to some degree. Am I going to get these unlocked in time? What is the unlock methods going to look like? As of recording this video, we know that Cloak, I think they backpedaled on this. Cloak is going to be a strike pass. I don't know if Dagger is going to be anymore. The data mines we had way back suggested that both Cloak and Dagger were going to be a strike pass, and you got to choose the shards that you wanted to get. I don't know if they're moving forward with this anymore, or if it's solely just Cloak on the strike pass. So, tentatively, I'm not going to be including them. However, I might slide them in because they look pretty good. But as far as I'm considering, Shang-Chi with his broken-ass heel, this might be quite viable. Shang-Chi, Iron Fist. We're getting a 5 red Iron Fist out of the milestones for the event, for the Shang-Chi event. I keep alternating, my bad, guys. But Colleen Wing, Misty Knight, Shang-Chi, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Now, we have 1 bio, 1 mystic, 2 skill, again, more skill, and attack. So, I don't know. If I had to prioritize, I probably would do Luke Cage, Colleen Wing, and Shang-Chi, and I don't know, because Shang-Chi can also heal. And then if I had to slide some new characters, we'll see about Cloak and Dagger. Dagger's also a support character, so I might be able to get away with just using Cloak and Dagger in those 3. But I'm not going to, at this point, say I'm going to take Cloak and Dagger, because I don't know what their release methods are, and they're both 100 shards. So whether or not I get them unlocked on the baby account or not, I'm not really entirely sure. But that's the plan that I am going to be doing for this sort of next month or so. I might do an update sooner than that, especially on the back of Dark Dimension 2, and we'll see. I should be able to slice my way through that, and hopefully I can clear that pretty fast, get some gear upgrades. Ultron gets unlocked by that, but I don't know if I have any plans to gear him up. We'll have to wait and see with regards to next patch, whether or not those characters are tech or not. But yeah, that's my roster goals. Those are my roster plans. So getting the Sinister Six up just to unlock Shuri and Invisible Woman, mainly Shuri for Chaos Theory, and then the X-Men, the Astonishing X-Men, and then we have X-Factor, Heroes for Hire, and Ghost, and the Secret Avengers. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's a lot of stuff that I'm working on, but I do have a lot of gold to do so, 36.5 million gold. So I guess being only level 69, I can only, you know, level characters up so far, so it's not really putting too much of a strain on my gold resources yet, you know, because I'm not gearing up a character from 1 to 80 or 1 to 81 or whatever it is. I'm going from like 1 to 65 at this point. So let me know what you guys think about my plans. What have you guys been doing on your accounts? I really hope that this helps and gives you guys some idea of what to work on over the next little while, especially if you're in the level to 70 to 75 range and you're working on things like Dark Dimension 2 or Dark Dimension 3. You know, that's what I'm planning to do. Also, like I said, I will in the comments down below leave the description, leave the link to the Doom War Ultimate Guide. So if you are trying to work on Doom War, I recommend checking that out. It'll give you guys some suggestions on what to build for that. So, you know, I did talk about, it looks like I'm building wide for Dark Dimension 3, but it's only because I have to. Now that I don't necessarily consider that wide, but of course when it comes to the campaigns, just put in the bare minimal effort for Hero 7, Villain 7, and Nexus 8. After that, when you get to do more, it's up to you how much you want to gear those characters for when you're thinking about that, but really the goal is getting to do more Chapter 3, 3.6 for Yellow Jacket, 3.9 for Multiple Man. That's the ultimate goal of newer players. So hopefully you guys are working towards that. We'll see what my progress is next time when we do the next update. And that's the end of this video. So until next time, guys, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.